Hello, I'm Kate. Welcome back to my channel. And in today's video, I'm on a quest to find my new favorite writing spot that is not contained within these four walls. Yes. Now, my favorite coffee shop that I have shown off in so many different vlogs actually closed before the pandemic. And then because of the pandemic, I never really had a chance to find anything that filled that void for me. I obviously feel so fortunate that I've been able to work from home during the past 2 years and that I've had, you know, a kind of dedicated office space. But as someone who works for myself and mostly entirely alone outside of streams, and even as big an introvert as I am, I have been craving a space outside. Not here. So this video was filmed over the course of several months. I'm trying out 3 coffee shops to see if they will be able to replace my old one, and also debating what makes the most productive writing space. You know, for that far off dream where I own a bookstore slash coffee shop slash bubble tea place that caters specifically to writers, and where I have a whole display that just shows off like books that were written in this space. It's fine. It is kind of like the prototypical writer dream, right? Anyways, I'd like to take you along the journey for the things that I learned that I am looking for in a writing space. Also, before we get to the first spot, this video is being sponsored by Skillshare, so I will be sure to talk about them later on in the video. And now, let's hit the road. Okay, so we're at another Summer Moon location, which is a coffee shop that I've been to before. I've gone to a different location. This one's actually in between my house and my parents' house, but I've never actually sat inside this location. I've just done the drive-thru, which is a really interesting, like, around the corner kind of situation. Oh good, I see someone walking out with a backpack, so I will not be the only one sitting in there doing something. So the plus side here is I already know that the coffee is good. It is quite sweet. It uses their moon milk. So I get a half moon or a half whatever their like seasonal flavors are. Bonus points for already liking the coffee. It's more the atmosphere though. Like when you're going to be writing in a place, it's like, are the chairs comfortable? Are there enough tables that I could kind of have my back to the wall so that people aren't reading over my shoulder potentially? And at the same time, so that I have a good view of like what all's going on for any inspiration that I need to take from these people who I don't want looking over my shoulder. Seems kind of unfair in some ways, but anyways, there are other factors, I'm sure. Like there was one coffee shop I didn't realize that I didn't like until I'd sat in there for 30 minutes and I was like, wow, it's really fucking hot, because it had a like full glass window where the sun was just constantly beating in from. And so these things, you know, think about, I want a place that I can, in theory, camp out for like 2 hours plus, or like I get a coffee as soon as I get there and then I'm like, you know what? Maybe like a little treat while I'm still sitting here working an hour and a half, 2 hours, 2.5, 3 hours later, you know? That's what I want. That's the vibe. Can I get into the zone? I'm gonna come up with a list. All right, let's go ahead and go in. Yay, that was so much fun. This place is so cute. I didn't see the back patio until I was done because I was just in the zone on finding the perfect spot, which was a really good spot. Plus the allergies, I figured it was a no-go. Either way though, it was really nice. So, you know, an option. All right, let's hit the road. So I do want to take a quick break and give a shout out to the sponsor of today's video, Skillshare. I'm co-writing a project with my brother for Camp NaNoWriMo, and our goal is to write every day. So one of the classes that I took recently that I really loved was the Writer's Toolkit, 6 Steps to a Successful Writing Habit by Simon Van Boy. So I really appreciated this hack. I'm gonna have to share it with my brother. But in the final lesson, he talks about starting a writing session by taking the work of an author you really loved. So let's say I find a passage in here that I really loved. Take like a paragraph and just copy it and keep writing it over and over for like 6 times or something, just so you can get in the flow. And it's all about discovering your own personal writing style, but it's kind of one of those that you have to evolve and learn what your style is, and the first step in that is figuring out what you love. He said you can also take it and find an author whose work that you didn't love as much and find a paragraph of theirs that you think you could do better, or a way that you would have liked it to be told, and just rewrite the paragraph. That's all, just the one paragraph. But just use that as kind of an exercise to get you started and kind of feel successful early on before the rest of your writing day starts. So that is the habit, and then you can kind of build from there. And I love that so freaking much. So I'm gonna share that with David. So if you're also trying to make a daily writing habit, I cannot recommend that class enough. Lots of really great tips and tricks. And Skillshare also has an entire creative writing sort of section that I just like to peruse and pick up more and more little nuggets. And the first 1,000 of y'all to click my link down below will get a free trial of Skillshare Premium, so you can also try Simon Van Boy's class. And thank you once again to Skillshare for sponsoring this video. And now I'm going to take you over to a coffee shop where I had attempted to go several times before, and it was always a bit of a fail. So I'm gonna take you there now successfully. All right, I'm trying again. We're at the Cracked Mug, and actually I think my mom is going to join me for a little bit. It at least is open because I see cars here and I see people coming out with coffee. Oh, please.
Do you like coffee? I'm like okay with it. It's not like my favorite, but I like it. And I'll drink it. Yeah. I like it with matcha. I like matcha almost louder. Yeah. I can see nothing like I'm so sorry.
So it was really nice that my mom got to meet me at the coffee shop. Going to this second coffee shop though really did help me kind of expand what was important. I forget about the noise factor. Like sometimes it would be nice to leave this space and go to somewhere that's gonna be quieter, but sometimes that place is not quieter. So while I enjoyed the coffee at this place, it did help me come up with my coffee shop must have a bit of a ranking system, which includes the coffee itself. Very important because I'm not a fan of having to pay for something that I could make better at home. Easy access to Wi-Fi. Now, sometimes I like to go to coffee shops and specifically not use their Wi-Fi because I need to get to frickin' work. But sometimes I also like to go so that it's like I can focus on the research or do any number of things, you know. Sometimes I gotta figure out a word and need a little thesaurus. So having the Wi-Fi sort of front and center also just helps tell me that it's like, okay, it's cool if I chill here for like an hour or two. And then sound. So like at that place, I unfortunately had to give it a 2 out of 10. If they have sufficient outlets, which is less important now, but back when I was in college and my computer died in like 30 minutes, I needed that outlet. Are there bathrooms? Important after you get that coffee in you. How comfortable is the chair and the like sort of chair to table height? What's the setup looking like? Is there easy access to water in case I was silly and did not bring my own? A little bit of points for staff, more so because I find that that can really help elevate a place. And what's the general vibe? What's the vibe of the place? Is it, you know, other people working on their stories or on their, you know, marketing proposal or something? Or is it like a place where there's a bunch of kids, which is fine too, but I just want to know what the vibe is. And finally, is it Instagrammable? It's a silly one, but you know, love a good coffee shop picture. Love some good latte art. So that actually helped me realize that that second coffee shop was probably not for me. It was really nice, but maybe more so as a place to like meet up and hang out with people. I think that whole area is really cool, but ultimately not for like getting work done, which is what I want from my coffee shops right now. And finally, I had one other place that I wanted to test out downtown. This place was beautiful, very Instagrammable, very nice. A lady had her dog in there, so it is the vibe I want. The parking situation was a little bit precarious, and downtown is always kind of confusing depending on, like, it feels very hit or miss for me on how busy a place is gonna be, but it is very close to one of my favorite half-price books, so even more bonus points in my eyes. Also, it's the farthest one of the three away from me, but having learned to drive in Dallas, there's far in Dallas terms, and then like San Antonio far is like not far at all. That said though, there is something nice about like really making it a journey that I'm going out to, and that it like propels me to work harder because I need to feel like I made the whole trip worth it. Does that make sense? So I will be back to the first and third locations. I think that Summer Moon edged out the third location just by a tad, and I really enjoyed the layout and the vibe inside. All the outlets were really nice. I appreciated the extra seasonal decorations, but as a whole, it was just nice to get out of the house. It was nice to work from somewhere different. I don't know that I would do it all the time, but I didn't used to do it all the time either. You know, even at my favorite place, it was more like a sort of treat. Like at most I would go maybe once every 2 weeks kind of thing, just when I really needed to get in the zone and get something done. And the walls were kind of, you know, at a certain point they feel like they're closing in, and it's like you can't get your mind to shut up. Sometimes changing locations can be so huge for that. I will say, when I, in my dream version, open up my coffee shop slash library meant specifically for writers, there's a place downtown that I love that has a 2-story coffee shop. Once again, it's a little bit harder to park at, so it's not usually worth it, but I love a 2-story vibe. It's just so nice. I do think I will take a wall of books. Would love a section where it's like books written here, books by local authors, but they also wrote it while they were at my coffee shop. And I do have several more coffee shops on my list because even though I liked the first and third location, first and third, not second, they don't quite yet live up to my old favorite coffee shop. So I'm still on the hunt. The hunt continues, but please do comment down below. Let me know where your favorite place to write is. Let me know your favorite place in your own home, but also your favorite place outside your home. Is it a friend's house? Is it the library? Is it a Barnes & Noble? Is it a coffee shop? A bubble tea place? Let me know. Also, let me know where the weirdest place you've ever written is. I've definitely written in the car. I don't know if that counts as weirdest, but when I was on my road trip, and living in the car, I also wrote in the car, so maybe that counts. Have I written on the toilet before? I've definitely texted myself ideas on the toilet. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching this video. Thank you to Skillshare for sponsoring it, and I will see you all very soon with a new video. Bye. This is me pretending that I'm talking to someone on the phone instead of talking to the camera.